Listen, in this video, we are going to explore and we are going to talk about some of the things that I know that you're experiencing right now in your life, okay? And I'm going to break everything down to words, okay? Because right now you're going through so many signs, you're going through so many synchronicities right now, confirmations are happening to you, but everything is revealing something. Everything is revealing that something major is about to happen in your life, okay? You just have to listen to the language of the universe. And at the same time, look what I found. I found a cave. I've never been over here before, but we are about to explore this together, okay? I haven't been in there. I haven't even looked in there yet, okay? Now let's talk about confirmation, all right? Sometimes the answers that you have been asking, they arrive in ways that you never even expected, okay? You may have asked yourself a question or asked the universe a question in your own mind, and all of a sudden the answer will arrive through somebody. It will arrive through a song. It will arrive just on the side of a bus or on a billboard, or you know, a book might fall in your path, something like that, okay? You may get on a train or something like that. All of a sudden somebody left a newspaper on the seat and you look at the newspaper and it's an answer to your question, okay? A lot of the times you just have to pay attention to your surroundings. You have to pay attention to what's going on around you, because the answer will always reveal itself. The confirmation will always reveal itself, okay? Now let's talk about alignment, okay? This is very, very important, because life begins flowing differently when your thoughts, action, and purpose move together. Everything has to be in alignment. Everything has to be in coherence. Once you do this, it's like everything just starts to flow in with ease, okay? I'm telling you. Now let's talk about synchronicity, all right? Meaningful coincidences, they often remind you to pay closer attention to your path. They often remind you to stay focused, okay? I'm telling you, you're a chosen one. That's why you're experiencing all of these synchronicities. That's why you're seeing all of these signs. That's why you're starting to feel things that you've never felt before. That's why you're starting to experience life from a whole different lens. You're starting to see things from a different perspective right now. That's because you're constantly evolving. You're becoming the greatest version of yourself. Okay, now let's talk about timing. Not everything is late. You have to understand this. Some things, they simply arrive at the moment that you're ready for them. And by you just constantly visualizing yourself being wealthy, things are aligning for you and everything is happening in the perfect divine timing. You have to understand this, okay? Let's go in this cave together, all right? I'm gonna see what's going on in here real fast. All right. As you can see over here, that's that. But oh, that's long down that way. Look, let's turn around. Let's look this way. And we're gonna walk all the way down to the end of this cave and see what that is down there. It looks like something down there. All right. There's a lot of graffiti in here, just a lot of writing and stuff going on in here, right? So we're going to definitely explore this together, and we are going to continue to talk about wealth, abundance, synchronicities, and signs, okay? Because I know you're experiencing this right now, because something major is about to happen in your life right now, okay? Now let's talk about destiny, all right? Some experiences feel just too perfectly placed to ignore. Like you might come out of a store or something like that, right? All of a sudden you were just thinking about, man, I need $20 more to do whatever I need. All of a sudden you come out and there is $20 laying on the ground perfectly there for you. Okay, things like that. Or destiny, or you'll come out and somebody needed $3, okay? And you just miraculously have $3 in your hand or in your pocket and you give it to them, okay? Destiny. Okay, too perfectly timed, just perfectly placed exactly there for you. Okay, now let's talk about purpose, because this is very, very important. It's like your greatest fulfillment, it often comes from discovering why you were meant to be here, because you came here with a purpose. That's why you have this vision in your mind of yourself being wealthy. That's why you have this feeling that something is about to happen, because it's a part of your destiny. It's a part of your purpose. You have to understand this. Okay, now let's talk about intuition. It's like that quiet feeling inside you that can sometimes notice what logic hasn't, okay, or what logic is trying to tell you not to do, but your intuition is telling you, yes, this is the right moment, this is the perfect time, okay? That's that voice in your head that's telling you things are right, even though your logical mind is telling you that it's not, okay? You have to pay attention to that voice. Now let's talk about discernment, okay? It's like not every opportunity is meant for you, all right? And knowing this is the difference. That is the gift of knowing that everything is not meant for you. All right. And just being able to walk away from things that, no longer serve you any purpose, that's stealing your energy or just bringing your energy down. Okay. Just walking away from things like that. All right. Now let's talk about the calling, because I know you feel it. I know you have a calling, right? It's like that desire that won't leave your heart. It may be pointing you towards your next chapter. And as a matter of fact, it is. It's pointing you to your next move in life of what you're supposed to be doing next. You have to listen, okay? You have to listen to the universe's language. I had to look at that bug. This looks like a big, I don't know if this is okay, somebody got like a little seed or something up there. Now let's talk about the awakening that you're going through right now. Seeing all these signs, seeing all these synchronicities. Did you know that this is a part of your spiritual awakening? Did you know this? Because you are going to continue to go through different things in your life. All right. And you have to understand that nothing happens by chance and nothing happens by mistake. Sometimes growth begins when you start seeing life in a completely different way. And that's what's going on with you right now. OK, you're seeing the signs, you're seeing the synchronicities. You are starting to become an empath. OK, you're starting to trust that inner voice that's going on inside of your mind right now, because you feel that it's leading you towards just something great right now, don't you? Now, let's talk about the word breakthrough. OK, this is this is one thing that we're all waiting for. We're waiting for that breakthrough, right? It's like major changes. They often begin long before they begin inside you. OK, they long before anybody else can see it on the outside. Your breakthrough starts on the inside of you. OK, when you start to notice that you are the breakthrough, then the breakthrough that you're actually looking for, it will manifest. OK, you have to understand this. Now, let's talk about the word preparation. All right, this is very, very important, because seasons of waiting can become, I would say, a season to grow, okay? A season to learn, a season to prepare yourself, a season to get ready, okay? That's why the preparation period, the preparation phase is very, very important, okay? You have to understand this also, all right? Now let's talk about patience. Not everybody is going to like patience. People don't like waiting. People like instant gratification. They want everything to happen right away, okay? Not every meaningful transformation happens overnight, but it happens when you're patient. It happens when you are waiting, okay? I'm telling you. Now let's talk about momentum, because that's what's happening in your life right now. You're building momentum, okay? Things are happening. I don't know what's down here right now, okay? But I'm walking slow. See, you got to understand, when it comes to momentum, small, consistent steps, they create extraordinary change over time. Just taking small, consistent steps is definitely creating things for the future right now, just being consistent at it, okay? Now let's talk about the word resonance, all right? This looks like some kind of, I don't know what this is down here. That's why you see me stopping. This is like a scene out of a scary movie or something right here. I'm telling you, they can definitely create a scary movie or something right here. I don't know, this goes deep down there. I'm definitely not going to go down this staircase. I'm not going to lie to you. That's just some stuff I would never ever do down there. I'm not going down there. It looks like there might be water down there, wet anyway. And I'm not doing that today. Not at all. Not today. But yes, so, when it comes to, the word resonance. All right, we're going to step back out here. Bam. Back out into about a lake. See, when it comes to resonance, it's like you naturally move towards people, places, and ideas that feel deeply authentic to you because it resonates with you. There are going to be a lot of things that happen in your life that don't resonate with you anymore. So you're going to constantly evolve. You're going to constantly change to, just different situations that actually resonate. Okay. You have to understand this. Damn, this goes even farther back that way. It keeps going further. Now let's talk about the word frequency, okay? This is close to resonance, okay? The thoughts you practice most often influence how you experience your days, how you experience your time, okay? These are your thoughts. Your thoughts are creating your reality right now as we speak, okay? Now let's talk about the word vibration, okay? Vibration. Your emotional state can shape the way you approach opportunities and challenges. And what you vibrate on, the frequency is actually what you're attracting. Let's just say you want to attract that jackpot, okay? You have to continuously vibrate on that jackpot frequency all the time, okay? And that's staying positive. That's keeping gratitude on your mind. That's just staying focused on the things that you desire, okay? And not focus on the things that you don't desire, all right? This is very, very important. Now let's talk about the word magnetism, okay? Confidence, kindness, and purpose often attract meaningful connections. You have to understand this, okay? So you want to attract what you are. You want to be the identity of the person that already has the things that you desire, which leads me to the word attraction, okay? What you consistently focus on, it tends to influence what you notice in life. If you stay focused on abundance, if you stay focused on wealth, those are the things that you are going to notice all the time, all right? Just focusing on lottery jackpots, okay? You're going to start to attract more lottery winners. You may start attracting people in the lottery line that says, hey, I just won $1 million last week or something like that. You're going to attract different things in your life that are going to it's like the universe is showing you what's about to happen in your life, okay? The universe will send other people in your life that have the things that you desire. And that's the things that the universe is reflecting to show you what's about to happen, okay? So most definitely. So let's talk about the word manifestation, okay? See, turning hopes into reality often begins with intentional actions and belief. So this is something that you want to believe that's already yours. If you desire to manifest a big lottery win, you have to act, walk, talk, speak, just everything has to be that jackpot winner already. You have to be that version of yourself. When it comes to wealth, wealth follows that identity. Jackpots, they follow your identity, okay? Now let's talk about expansion, all right? This is very, very important. Growth starts when you're willing to think beyond your current limits. Okay, that's why you see yourself being wealthy, because you were meant for expansion. You were never meant to stay the same. That's why you kind of are bored in, just to say, the same job years and years. You're bored with the same life because you were meant for expansion. You were meant for growth. Okay, that's why you feel like this right now. Now let's talk about the word abundance. All right, this is one of my favorite words. Okay. It's like true abundance. It includes opportunities. It includes relationships, gratitude, and purpose, not just money. It just includes everything. OK, when you think abundantly, when you feel like you're abundant, you're going to be grateful for all the abundance that's in your life, that's coming from every direction. OK, and let's talk about overflow since we're talking about abundance. OK, sometimes life gives you more than you expected. You have to understand this. When you remain faithful through the process, it's going to happen. If you just remain faithful and you remain just grateful, and you ask the universe, universe or God, please give me $1 million. When it comes, it's going to be way more than that. Okay, it's going to be way more than you expected. All right. Now let's talk about the word prosperity. All right. This is very, very special. All right. I feel like going back in the cave, but that was like an eerie walk, especially when I got down to the end down there. That was eerie. That was like a scene out of a scary movie, and I had to get up out of there. You know, like for me, I don't like cold, dark, wet places that are deep down and like stuff like that. I don't like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I just had to get up out of there. It goes further, but I'm cool today. You know, we're just gonna stick around this little bank, this little dock, this bank where the boats used to dock up at, where the steel mill factory was. But yeah, so let's talk about the word prosperity. Okay, prosperity, it's about living with purpose. It's about living with opportunity and just enough to keep you growing. Okay, this is very, very important. You have to just stay focused on moving forward. You have to stay focused on growing all the time, because that's what's going to happen. All right, you don't want to stay in the same place. All right, this is very, very important. I'm gonna make my way over here to where I got my pop sitting. I got my pop in my bag sitting over here. So let's talk about miracles, all right? It's like some moments, they remind us that life can surprise you in remarkable ways, okay? So that's what that's what you would call a miracle when something happens like that. But all along, it's really just a blessing. That's all a miracle really is, all right? Now let's talk about favor, all right? Because you are highly favored. You have to understand this. And that's why unexpected doors, they sometimes open when the timing is right for you. You're like, man, things are just happening for me. And, you know, that's because you're chosen, okay? That's because you're highly favored. That's why things start happening in your life that you can't explain. You're like, how did this happen? Or why did this happen to me? You know, I'm telling you, because you are one of the chosen ones, all right? So yes, you know what I mean? Now let's talk about the word grace. Okay, it's like you don't have to earn every good thing that comes in your life, all right? Because I'm telling you, if you feel like you have to earn something, then it just makes things harder to manifest in your life. But when you feel like you're supposed to have things, like things belong to you, when you feel like that, then things really manifest in your life a lot quicker, because you don't have to work hard for money. Okay, you really just have to align yourself with it. That's it. Align yourself with the energy of money and it will start to flow into your life. Okay, align yourself with that big jackpot and you'll start to hit more lottery wins. Okay. Now let's talk about the word protection, okay? Some closed doors have been keeping you they just been keeping you safe, okay? From what wasn't right for you, from what wasn't aligned for you, okay? You're always being protected. There are gonna be times where you just felt like, why was I delayed? Why didn't this happen? That's because you were actually being protected from something, from going somewhere, from a situation, whatever it is, okay? You're always being protected by the universe all the time, okay? Now let's talk about the word guidance, okay? This is very, very, very important, okay? Wisdom, it often appears one step at a time instead of revealing the whole journey, all right? So you are going to gain wisdom along the way, okay? You're gonna gain a lot of knowledge along your journey. It's like you're becoming the version of yourself that already has the things that you desire. So that's why you're just going through the different situations in your life right now, okay? You have to go through this to become that version. Who you are right now is not going to be the same person that you are a year from now, okay? Now let's talk about redirection, okay? This has a lot to do with protection. It has a lot to do with delays, okay? And this is like a setback. It could become the beginning of a better path. You have to understand it. So you will be redirected towards something that will align you to the version of yourself that you are becoming, and that's the wealthy version of yourself, okay? Now let's talk about revelation, all right? And I'm not talking about the end of the Bible, okay? I'm just talking about understanding. It often arrives when you're finally ready to receive it, all right? When you're ready for something, it'll come to you and you're like, wait a minute, I feel it, I know, I understand it now. It's like another version of yourself, like a younger version of yourself, wouldn't understand the things that you understand now, okay? Wouldn't be even looking at videos like this either, okay? Now let's talk about wisdom, because you're gaining this, all right? Real wisdom, it comes from applying what life has already taught you, and you're being taught every single day. So you definitely want to apply that wisdom in every area of your life, okay? Now let's talk about faith, because I know you've been keeping your faith high. I know you've been having your faith on a whole nother level, okay? It helps you, okay? It helps you to keep on moving, even when you can't even see the outcome. Just having faith, trusting, it just keeps you going. It keeps you believing, and which leads me to the word trust, okay? And that's because growth, it becomes easier when you stop trying to control every single detail and you're just trusting the timing, you're trusting the divine guidance and all of that, okay? And let's talk about expectation, because you have to have expectation when it comes to your blessing. You have to expect good things, all right? You have to, all right? Expecting good things, it can change the way you approach every day, okay? When you expect things to happen without trying to control it, things will happen in your life effortlessly, okay? And let's talk about obedience, because you have to apply this. You have to apply discipline and obedience in every area of your life, okay? Sometimes the smallest steps in the right direction lead to the biggest change, okay? Just staying focused on that journey, staying focused on what you truly, truly desire. And let's talk about courage, because you have to have courage also, okay? Fear, it doesn't disappear before you move. It just happens after it, okay? It's like you move despite of whatever you're feeling. I'm telling you, you have to have that courage. But it is going to be fear, but you have to move no matter what, okay? Now let's talk about surrender, okay? Letting go of what you can't control. It often creates room for something better. You have to understand this, all right? Now let's talk about detachment. Releasing what no longer serves you makes space for what is truly meant for you, okay? I see some people coming, all right? Now, I don't like to have people in my video, but I'm gonna walk down a little bit further, okay? I'm just gonna try to stay ahead of them right now. Now, let's talk about transformation. Okay, the most important changes, they usually begin on the inside before you start to see it on the outside. And you are going through a period of transformation right now. All right. Now let's talk about elevation, okay? Because that's exactly what's going on with you. As you grow, your priorities, they naturally begin to change. All right. Now these people that are walking a little bit faster, I don't even want their voices in this video. So thank you so much. All right. I just, you know how I am about the energy of other people in my videos. I just like to just, but thank you so much for tuning into Millionaire Mindset, where everything happens in divine time by divine design, but you are the divine design. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment on this video, and hype this video up. Until the next video, Millionaire Mindset signing off.